You can tell from the way you're speaking that you understand that everyone's kind of from a different background and there's so many different cultures that need different needs. When you were, especially starting out, but now that you've expanded to such a wide range of people, how did you navigate around those different cultures, different beliefs, different personalities, different interests? Because garnering a team of people that the size that you have, it's a tricky situation. It's a little bit like running through oncoming traffic. It can be difficult.
You're right. It really can be. But the key thing is, again, starting out with those fundamentals. And by understanding that, then that's the basis of the decisions. See? So then I just have to, in other words, when you're dealing with different cultures and understandings, the goal, and this is a part of one of the principle of opposites that I was talking about, learning to respond in ways that are opposite to our social norms or our natural inclinations. So when we're approaching people that are different than us or even have a different viewpoint from us, that's extremely valuable because they could be sharing things that I don't know about. Okay. So when I approach some of those kinds of situations, the goal is always to seek to understand more than be understood. So much of the time, we want people to understand my point of view, the way I think and what I understand and why I believe it's right. But see, that doesn't help me. And to be honest with you, it doesn't help them much either. See, because they're thinking the same thing. See, they want you to understand them. So I just say, okay, instead of me getting them to understand me first, I'll just reverse it. I'll do the opposite. I'll seek to understand them. Listen, everything that somebody does makes sense to them, right? Everything, anything, any action, any verbalization, anything that somebody says or does, it makes sense to them. How do I know that? Because if it didn't, they wouldn't do it. A guy robs the bank, right? Makes sense to him, doesn't it?
Yep.
I mean, if it didn't make sense to him, he wouldn't do it. I mean, now it doesn't make any sense to me, but it makes sense to him. So the question isn't just what somebody's doing. The question isn't just what somebody believes. The real question, and you talked about it a little bit earlier, sometimes we have to dig a little deeper. So I'm more interested in why somebody does something, why somebody believes something, than I am what they believe or what they do. What they do is that's just the result. That's just the consequences of their belief, right? So the question is, why do you believe that? What brought about that belief? How did you come to the conclusion that those kind of things work? See? And so once I understand where they're coming from, guess what? Now I have more adequate information to be able to share with them and how to approach them with where I'm coming from. See? And because people have a natural tendency, and especially being immature thinks that everybody thinks like I do. Everybody's just like me, right? And if not, when they grow up, they will be, right? Because they're just immature. They grow up and then they'll think like me. See, that's the most immature level of thinking that there is. See, then they eventually, as time goes, hopefully, they get to a point they say, well, come to think of it, everybody isn't like me. There's differences out there. And then they grow a little bit more mature, and you know what they realize? Come to think of it, nobody's like me. And the most valuable part of the whole thing is, and this is what people need to understand, it's okay to be me. Listen, if I'm not going to be me, who is? If I'm not me, the world is missing my piece of the puzzle. See? Because everybody is a piece of the puzzle. And if I'm not me, then who's going to be me? Where's that piece going to come from? And if I'm trying to be somebody else, that piece has already been filled. Now, I can learn from them. I can learn concepts and things from them, but I learn that to improve myself so that I can be a more stable piece of the puzzle.